With the new coronavirus hype around the world, there's a big focus on properly washing your hands. So why is washing your hands important? Well, because it keeps your hands clean, and clean hands save lives. And well, it keeps you away from bacteria and viral infections, and yes, why not the coronavirus. So you might have heard that the new coronavirus is transmitted by air. So you might ask yourself, why is it important to clean my hands? Shouldn't I be protecting my eyes, my nose, my mouth? Well, no, actually. You cannot be infected just by breathing. Airborne transmission means that the virus is transported through air in fluid expelled from an infected person's airways through coughing and sneezing. These droplets need to land just right, basically on your face, to get you infected directly. So it's very unlikely to get infected by airborne particles. The most likely cause of infection is by touching objects that have been previously infected by other people. For example, if someone sneezes or coughs in their hands and then touches an object like a faucet or a doorknob or a surface, then that surface becomes contaminated, and the virus actually can survive for about 2, 3, 4 hours on that surface, unless it's disinfected. Most of the times it isn't, especially if we're talking about public places. So this is why it's important to keep your hands very clean and wash your hands properly. Okay, the first thing you need to know is that any antibacterial or antiviral solution, be it soap, antibacterial soap, hand disinfectant, needs a certain amount of contact time with your hands in order to be effective. So you must wash your hands for at least 20 to 30 seconds, very thoroughly, and the same goes with alcohol-based hand disinfectant. For example, we have here a very powerful surface disinfectant. And I don't know if you can read this, but here it says coronavirus, 30 seconds. That means that the liquid needs to have 30 seconds of contact time with the surface in order to destroy coronaviruses. And this includes the current coronavirus, COVID-19. Okay, so let's say you're in a public place and you need to wash your hands. The first thing you do, so you're in the bathroom, the first thing you do is you need paper towels. Why? Well, let's say someone previously touched the faucet before you, that means that it's potentially infected, or let's say your hands are infected. If you touch it directly, you will infect the surface and other people will touch it. And maybe some of them don't wash their hands very well and leave the bathroom with their hands contaminated with virus particles. So the first thing, you take a paper towel and you turn on the faucet without actually your hand actually touching the faucet. Right? You dispose of this. If you can, you use another paper towel. If the soap dispenser is not hands-free one and you need to actually push a button, yes, use the paper towel, push the button, take a sufficient amount of soap, run your hands through the water, and rub them thoroughly. Once you lather up, you spread the hands and you do this in order to clean the lateral surfaces of your fingers. Yes. And on the upper side of your palms, on both hands, like this. Join your hands together like this. If you have the time, do this to every finger. Also, do this for the top of your fingers. Once you're finished, take another hand towel, dispose of it, close the faucet with another hand towel, like this, dispose of it. That's it. If you need to open a door, take another paper towel, push the handle, get out of the bathroom, dispose of the paper towel. That's it. If you want to use hand disinfectant, alcohol rub, okay? Contact time also needs to be 20-30 seconds. In order for it to be effective. Your hands need to be wet the whole time with the alcohol rub. If there's a bottle like this with dispenser, if you have the possibility, do not touch the top of the dispenser with your hand, either with a paper towel, yes, like this, or with your elbow, okay? It's the same motion, yes. Notice your hands must be wet at all times. If your hands dry, that means you did not put enough disinfectant on them, right? Your hands must remain moist for at least a couple of seconds. Do not rub your hands until they are completely dry. Yes? That's about it.